This is the Healthcare Marketplace Specialization, Healthcare Marketplace Overview. I'm Steve Parenti, and this is Module 4.2.1, How does a new technology make money? Well, really good question. You have to go from idea to use, and you need to protect some intellectual property to do that, to make some money. So suppose you have a new molecule or a medical device, and you believe it has significant health benefits. There's a process by which you need to go through to basically get that revenue from insurers, otherwise known as the payers. And so there's 4 key steps we're going to talk about. These are going to vary from country to country or county to county. Actually, if you go to Switzerland, it will vary from county, otherwise known as the cantons. And all of this is definitely going to vary innovation. There's a whole range of different innovations and different barriers to entry you have to worry about. So 4 important steps that one needs to go to. First of all is, number 1 is obtaining a patent. And so patents are basically grant exclusive rights to sell a product for 20 years. Regulatory approval from the FDA is another piece that you have to go through. That will basically say that your device is safe and efficacious, meaning it's effective to be marketed. This whole aspect of both getting a patent and the first 2 steps here, and then getting FDA approval is a very long process. It depends on what different stages you're going to do. Next step, payers must agree to cover this procedure. You definitely have to have FDA approval before you even go to the payers. You're going to definitely want to make sure you have patents to see that you have your protections, they're there, but FDA approval is kind of key. There's going to be differing standards by the payers. Some payers want to see at least 2 peer-reviewed articles saying that you have clinical trial data to say that that's proven that this technology is at least cost-effective. Medicare's criteria is reasonable and necessary. That's more increasingly been it has to also hit that cost-effective criteria. So studies that are in the peer-reviewed literature, that is a journal that's not something that you're publishing in yourself or self-publishing, is really critical for getting to that steps. Number 4, the physicians or providers have to be persuaded to use this innovation. Basically, voice of the customer for providers is key. Without the providers benefiting some way, this is just not going to be used. That's one of the key issues. Just because you made something really cool that you like, if the docs aren't going to use it, or particularly in some hospital settings, if the nurses don't approve, it's going to be done. So to get a patent, it's expensive. It can take 6 months, it could take 2 years, it could take even longer than that. There's some folks I worked with that are alum of the Carlson School, where they're now, I think, on year 3 or 4 from a really great invention. They're going back and forth with the patent examiners to get pieces that are there. The standard for getting a patent is that it has to be novel and non-obvious. And so non-obvious meaning you just drew something on a napkin, no one really... they may have never saw it before, but then once they see it, they're like, oh, yeah, I've seen that. That doesn't make sense. But it's brand new, but it's pretty obvious we don't really want to cover that. Novel is a little different. Novel is obviously you have to demonstrate that no one else has done it before. That requires a lot of patent research. That's why there are patent attorneys that are out there that are probably some of the wealthiest attorneys you're going to find, and as a result, they're going to charge you a lot of money for that. Once you get a patent, from the point of actually filing to the expiration date is 20 years. And you can get some extensions, like for pediatric testing or some orphan drug pieces, you can add a little extra life on to that area. But getting a patent is kind of key to demonstrate that you have, at least to the outside market, a unique technology. This concludes this module on getting money into the medical technology market space.